What is FilmHub? Why should filmmakers care?
Awesome. So what is FilmHub? FilmHub is a technology platform that helps filmmakers distribute their films to streaming services around the world. It's a pretty big change when you take technology to utilize for distribution, because all of a sudden the problems of getting paid, making sure deliveries happen, everything is automated, and we can do that much faster, while still empowering a sales team that gets films up on streaming services. So it's part technology platform, part distribution, and really just making sure that we automate the process of distribution for filmmakers and using people as well alongside it.
Right. And when people ask to describe, so is FilmHub you consider to be a marketplace, correct? Not technically an aggregator.
We're not an aggregator. What is an aggregator? What is a distributor? Like, all these names are kind of, all over the place at this point, and everyone has a slightly different definition. What we really are is a technology platform for filmmakers to distribute to streaming services. If you look at any distributor, actually, kind of what are they? They actually are a marketplace in their own rights, right? Like, every distributor says, okay, hey, which titles need to go here? Which titles need to go there? It's exactly how any distribution company works, right? You build a catalog and you get it up on streaming services. It's how you work.
My producing partner wants to go with a distributor because they'll put effort into promoting our film. What's a different way to look at that if you self-distribute?
Yeah.
I think I get what he's.
Yeah, totally. I mean, this is a question, right? Like, this is one of the things, right? Is like, traditional distribution claims to market your film. I would really dig into what that actually means. What are they really selling you on? What exactly are they going to do? Ultimately, I mean, I'll be honest, we work with a bunch of distributors, and we see that, a lot of them don't actually do the marketing for you. And so really dig in as to like what they're really promising to do. Because guess what? All of a sudden, especially if, your film isn't monetizing and isn't the top of their batch, um, guess where their marketing resources are going to go to? On to the next one. So really take a look at that. I think that, I think there's a big question there that needs to be really deeply analyzed when you make that decision. And I would really like take a second look at that. And also don't forget, if they claim they're doing marketing, they're probably taking 30, 40, sometimes 50% plus marketing expenses and deductions. Guess what? It might not even make monetary sense at that point. That's really an important thing to look at. So I'd really take a look at that as you go. It's a very scary thing. It's a big selling prop of traditional distribution, but it's sometimes can be a big empty promise.
Right.
And a lot of filmmakers have experienced that.
Right. And again, to piggyback off that, I've had experiences on both sides of that with traditional distribution. I've had traditional distributors where I've paid crazy amounts in sales fees and they did absolutely jack squat. And I've worked with some that actually have done a good amount of marketing, and that was worth the amount. At the end of the day, man, it really comes down to your individual project and where the best fit is for that project, and that can be different. Does FilmHub accept TV shows, series, or just feature films?
We have series, shorts, and feature films, all lengths of content.
Does FilmHub have any plans to work with streaming platforms and perhaps give commissions to filmmakers directly using FilmHub? Perhaps if they're looking for anything specific. And I think what he's asking is like the
Will there be FilmHub originals? Yeah. or like, or will we help commission originals for Tubi or something like that? Like, yes, those are things that all we think about, right? Like, those are, nothing that is coming in the near term. It is something that we think is a, potential, direction that we could take with some things. Ultimately right now though, I'd rather focus on getting your film out to more streaming services. And that's, kind of our number one focus right now, is focusing on that piece.
Is there some movies that are too controversial to put up through FilmHub? Anything that would have to be removed? Like it kind
Yeah. So we have a content policy in place that's constantly evolving. We're constantly trying to make improvements to it. Right. So like we have like no hate speech, number of different things. You can just read through our content policy, and that's, there's, porn is not something that we, work with. So, those are all things that we, it's all in our content policy.
Right, right. But and for the most part, you guys aren't you're not curating the like
No, no,
just stuff that's maybe
yeah,
against
just
yeah.
stuff that's against our content policy. We're not actually curating the storylines, etc. We don't do no sort of curation on that front.
Can FilmHub put movies up on YouTube, their movie rent system?
Yeah, we do. We do support deliveries to Google TV and YouTube movies. Um, unfortunately, this is one thing that does require a third-party delivery service that we have to work with. So there is a $500 fee to deliver to YouTube movies and Google Play.
Can I find the QC fees and delivery fees for each channel online?
Guess what? Big fat goose egg. We take care of all of that. There's no QC fees and delivery fees. Super awesome.
Yeah, the only exception then would be for like the TVOD, like the Google Play or
Yeah, we have to use a third party. We have to use a
yeah,
third party. Yeah, there is.
yeah, yeah.
That's a fee, but that's
Right, right,
from us,
right.
there's nothing.
What are FilmHub's future plans? What's the stuff that's impossible now, but would be a dream to achieve in the future? Basically, where do you see FilmHub
Ooh,
going in the future?
these are fun questions. Okay,
Yeah, yeah.
okay, Gustav, I see you. So ultimately, here, right? Like, what is it that I see, and the FilmHub team sees in general, right? Um, there has never been a company built in film that was really focused on filmmakers, right? And I hopefully, with our announcement today of moving to fast payments, people understand that, we are not the enemy here. We are trying to, which is a lot of people just see, distribution companies and platforms as the enemy, right? They just like see it as like, oh, it's just like one person trying to break me down after another. Um, and like I feel that, and like our goal here is to really show you that we are here to help, here to make things better. And so ultimately what we do next is all based upon feedback and whatnot from our filmmakers. It's one of the reasons why I do these calls, is because I want to see the questions that people are asking. I want to see and understand the problems they're facing. And so ultimately, like, what we comes next is is navigated by our community, right? And I think that's one of the biggest things that I look for. And so, yeah, what are things that we're really focused on? One, right? Obviously, like, monetization is important, right? And getting films up on more and more streaming services. So guess what? We're going to spend a lot of the next year adding more streaming services. We're going to be adding streaming services faster probably than any distribution company has added streaming services in the past. And we already are there. And so that's our number one focus for the next year as we go. But happy to always talk with our filmmakers and have this conversation. But hopefully you see that the goal is that we want to work and build this alongside you.